Hello, welcome to Payroll Transactions. What we've done is I've gone through with students the payroll transaction section of the book, and I think it might be worth redoing this given the feedback that I've had when we're going through the actual whether the book makes sense or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do through the back end of Chapter 5, AAT Level 2 Bookkeeping Controls from Osborne's books, the journal bit and the payroll transactions from page 85 onwards. So on page 85 in the book, it gives a list of payroll transactions entered into the accounts. There's no particular order to the list really, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the list into an order in a table and give some colour as well to it. So what we've got then here is the gross pay. So this is the salary we've agreed to pay the employee. So we've agreed that we're going to pay him £1,000 a month. Now, as the employer, I need to pay a tax to the HM Revenue and Customs for employing the person. It's called Employers' National Insurance Contributions. So basically, tax on employing people. Employers' National Insurance Contributions. That gets added on to their cost. Typically as well, employers nowadays have to put employees into pension schemes and pay a contribution towards their pension. So there's an employer's pension contributions cost. So if I've agreed to pay somebody £1,000 a month, I'm going to have to pay them a tax for employing them to the Inland Revenue, HM's Revenue and Customs. I'm also going to have to pay a contribution to their pension scheme. So their total cost to me is this figure up here, this gross pay plus these additional employer costs. So that's actually what it cost me to employ this person. Now the employee, we might have agreed to pay them this amount per month, but they don't get that because they have to pay some things themselves. They have to pay their taxes, so they have two taxes, employees, national insurance, and income tax. Why don't we have just the one? It's because if we put it together, some people would lose and some people would gain. The people that gain wouldn't thank the Chancellor, and the people that lost would scream to high heaven. So politically, it's not a good move for the Chancellor, so he doesn't do it. So they would be deducted from this amount. Plus the employee will make some pension contributions. And they have decided that they're going to be in a trade union as well. So there's other voluntary contributions. So they're in a trade union, they're going to pay over some amounts for their trade union. And I put here as well anything else. They might not be voluntary actually. They might be court orders, like a CSA court order for the payment towards their children. Also, there might be something like what I call a salary sacrifice scheme. An example of this would be where a company buys a bike for the employee, and the employee has the bike, and they pay back the cost of that bike over 3 years, and it's tax deductible. So the employee actually only sees this in their bank account, so their salary minus all of these employee deductions. So all these employee deductions, and that's what they're getting. So that's what they started with. That's what they actually received in their bank account. Okay, so we're going to memorize this table here, and we're going to start to put our numbers in. Right, so that's the first thing we're going to have is we'll have a table. Now, we're then going to be able to produce the journals off this table. And what we're going to have then is our first journal, which is the wages control account 1. So we debit the wages expense and we credit the wages control. So this is the cost of the employer, debit the wages expense. This is the wages control, which we're going to use as a holding account. Eventually this is going to get to 0. Then we're going to transfer a lump out of the wages control, so debit the wages control into the HMRC control. What are we going to transfer? We're going to transfer the taxes figures. Highlight them in bold for you. Those 3 figures are going to go into there. Then we're going to transfer a lump out of the wages control into the pension control. What are we going to transfer? Well, let's transfer the 2 pension payments. So there's the 2 pension ones that go into the pension control. We're going to have a trade union control, and that's going to be the £50 there. I've got an other payments one. I call it trade union control as well, but whatever you decide to call it. And that one will go into there. Then we got this last one here, which is this net pay, and that's going to be paid from the bank account. So debit the wages control, credit the bank, and that's that one. I think that's a better order of the steps for the wages control account in here. And so what we're going to do, armed with this table and that order, we're going to go and do some questions. We're going to start on page 97, and we'll do 5.8 onwards. And we'll do all of the questions, and I'll show you as well how we're going to put a mistake into it, and we'll see how the wages control is going to come and save us from the mistake. So here we are in 58 or top of page 97. We've got this Home Fires Limited. We've dropped the gross pay into here. We've dropped their income tax into here. Employers' national insurance here. Employees' national insurance here. The employer's pension and the employee's pension. And we've got the trade union fees in here. So the total cost to the employee to the employer is going to be those three there. And the net pay, you fill that one in. It's going to be that minus those red deductions. Okay, then you're going to move. That would be to the wages control and wages and expense. Then we're going to move the three taxes to the HMRC control account from the wages control account. And we're going to move the pension payment to the wages control account. And we're going to put the trade union payment in, take that out of the control account as well. And we're going to we've got no other payments. And then we've got this net pay that we're going to take out of the wages control account as well. So how do those figures then look? Let's go through it. There's the wages expense one. So the answer to 5.9 was C, because that's going to be this, plus these employer expenses getting to that. That's the wages control account. There's the wages expense. We've got the HMRC payment. That's going to be the three taxes there. So the answer to that was D. Yeah, and that comes out of the wages control account, going into the HMRC control account. The total net pay, as we swing our way around these other ones here, is going to be this figure at the bottom. That's me debit the wages control, credit the bank. So what you can see is this table and this approach here with the arrows as well gives you the journals. Now, we can check whether we were right or not by doing the wages control account. So if you post all of the items to the wages control account, so the initial credit, debit wages expense, credit wages control, then the debit wages control, credit HMRC control, then the debit wages control, credit pension control, debit wages control, credit trade union control, debit wages control, credit bank, credit bank, debit wages control, yep. They add up, they're the same. We know we were right. So those are the right answers. So this approach here with this laying out in this table and then just going through it with these arrows and just getting used to that means that you will not get this wrong compared to, and then that final check at the end, compared to the book, which I think is just a little bit too wordy and not as great in terms of the charts. Easy for me though, because I have a lot more paper effectively using the screen, and I can use colour as well. So let's do the next one, and I'll put an error into this one in here. So I've got 511 in here, and what I've done is I've dropped in here the gross pay, the employer's national insurance, the employee's national insurance, the income tax goes there, the trade union expense goes there. Work out the total cost of employer, work out the net pay. So add those up, the total cost of employer, that minus those ones, net pay. Right, and then do those control accounts. So that's what I would do. So let's go through this then and see what, let's get this wrong, or I'm going to get this wrong. Add those two up there though, it's not equal to that, but let's have that there though, and then let's go through our accounts. So I'll put that to the wages control account and to the wages expense. I'm going to get this wrong as well. Instead of adding all three, I just added those two together. Not got any pension payments. I've got the trade union one, which I've done right. I've not got any other payments. And I've done the bank correctly as well. In terms of, so I did this, I did that up first. Then I did that, minus that one there. Then I did my journals around. I'm going to check this. I do my wages control account, and we will see that when I post these journals to the wages control account, this does not add up. I know that this is a mistake. So let's go back and check it then. Okay, that didn't add up. That's what it should have been. So I add those two together, and that's what the answer is there. Oh yes, actually there were three items there, weren't there? Not the two. I've got that one there. Trade union was correct, and the net pay is right as well. When you're going through as well, Now take out the gross pay in there. Is there a tick? Is something going against? Is everything else except the gross pay going somewhere? If it is, then it'll be right. And then redo my wages control. Do I have a mistake? No, I don't, because they are the same. Okay, so those were the answers. Yeah. In terms of so what we've now got is our journals here. So the wages expense was 111650 debit, wasn't it? And there will be the wages control as the credit. And there though, the liability to HM customers and revenue was debit wages control, credit the HMRC control there. The net wages to employees, well, that was the bottom one here. Debit wages control, credit the bank account. Here. Remember, this is the wages expense in here. This is the net wages paid to employees. We pay them from the bank account there. And the liability for the trade unions ones was debit the wages control, credit the trade union control for that liability there. Okay. So that was that one. And that then adds up. So is there a mistake? No, there isn't. They equal each other. No, that was the answer. Let's do the next one then. Let's see whether we can do 512. We've got our table here. Get used to the table and drop your figures in. Gross pay goes into there. Income tax comes off the gross pay to get to the net pay, but we would also as well be able to take off the employees' national insurance would go there. The employer's national insurance goes there. The employer's pension there. The employee's pension there. Okay. Then you're going to do the add up the total cost of employer, work out what the net pay is by doing that minus those is the net pay, and then do the various journals. So I will take you through them now. So I've added up the total cost of employer, that plus that plus that, and I've got the net pay, that minus that minus that minus that. So my wages expense, one, record the wages expense is debit wages expense, credit wages control, 56,110. Then record the liability to HM's customers and revenue. That's going to be debit wages control, 21,105, and credit HMRC control, 21,105. And then we're going to do as well, I'll do the pension one first, I'll do D first, which would be those two pensions contributions. Then I go round, I've not got anything in those, and then that's my net pay one for answer C. And that then will be those ones. Then I'm going to check whether I was right, because I haven't got all the nice A, B's and C's to be able to sort of check my way through. I do my wages control. And do they balance? Yes, they do. So I know that that is the right answer. Now, hopefully then, what that has done is it's provided you a table where all of these items go in, and you can't get that wrong, really. If they come up with another expense that is to the employer, then it would go in here. If they come up with another deduction for the employee, it would go in here somewhere, and then you would post them in the same way. So hopefully that has been helpful. I think that really will clear up the payroll transactions and the wages control account and make it much more straightforward. That seems to be the feedback from students. Shout out to Louis and Lucas. Hope you enjoyed it. Speak to you soon. Bye.